just never knew how to tell you.
I would be able to talk about my life.
I ever loved a vodka.
I have 2 moms. You want me to say it out loud?
I knew she'd be late. It was typical. To be expected. I should have told her to come an hour and a half earlier than I actually wanted to leave. Not that I'm always on time. I've actually built up quite a reputation for myself for being late to everything. But I'm actually only late to everyday types of obligations. Meetings, classes, work, social engagements, etc. I'm almost always ready to go on time or even early when it comes to travel. She finally showed up, hurriedly pulling into my driveway an hour and a half late with a kind of embarrassed, defensive look on her face. I was waiting for her standing on my lawn with my mom. Her eyes were taut. She looked stressed. Without much of a greeting, let alone an apology, she jumped out of her car, packed to the brim with her belongings, grabbed my bags, and began to stuff them in. I was starting to feel pretty indignant at this point. Aaron, I've been waiting here for like 2 hours. God damn it, Tess, I've been packing my car for 6 hours. I'm sorry if you get sick for 1 extra second while I pack up my life, but this is a big deal. My shit wouldn't fit in, blah, 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 blah. She snapped back so quickly and harshly it left me with little want to pursue the matter further. Well, whatever, brat. I trailed off. My mom had conveniently ducked out in time to avoid the messy details of this early morning first step of a seminal life experience. She probably went back inside to finish her omelet and cappuccino. Aaron and I were moving from the area we grew up in North Carolina to Massachusetts that morning. It was late May, 9:30 a.m. We were sleep-deprived and grumpy. It was humid out. We were 18 and 20 years old. Best friends. We were moving away from home for the first time. We wouldn't admit it, but we were pretty anxious about the whole venture. There were several reasons I had decided to move to the town my school was located in. I had some friends living in the area. I just started a really cool band. I was really crushed on this girl that worked at a local coffee shop. Things like that. A few weeks prior, during the end of semester, I was frantically looking for local housing. Most of the ads were obviously not what I was looking for. Middle-aged couple looking for a third housemate to live out in the middle of fucking nowhere for $800 a month's rent. Hippie-ass co-op wants you to play the didgeridoo during our jam sessions. You can crash on her couch if you smoke us up. Creepy late 30s guy wants chicks, hot, young chicks, to come live in my house and play naked parcheesi in exchange for rent. Finally, I saw the right flyer. It said, punk rock house looking for roommates, pretty cheap, good location, close to town, nice kids, pear tree. So I called. I got it set up. That's where we were headed. Erin's car was packed like an elaborate Jenga game, crammed carefully with everything she owned. It was amazing that we fit all of our things in. I quickly realized that because of the sheer amount of stuff crammed into her car, when I was seated shotgun I would be uncomfortably spooning the dashboard. I was not very happy about this. In fact, I started to raise a fuss and began to try to repack her car. Tess, she said, holding back hyperventilation. I've been packing this thing since dawn. I know for a fact there's no way in hell this stuff is gonna fit any better. I backed off. As soon as we said goodbye to my parents, we hit the road, not speaking to each other. We were both pouting over how little sleep we had gotten, the things said, what a pain in the ass this all was, and how it scared the shit out of us. Although we were best friends and had our typical best friend spats, we didn't usually fight. It was a bad combination of lack of sleep and anxiety about the move and the drive. We had a 13-hour drive ahead of us. Not even out of town, we stopped at a gas station to check the tire's air pressure. I don't know what actually happened to break the looming silence between us, but we exploded. Bitch, fucking you die! Would you wish I'd rather some shit piece of fucking shit, you fucking you fucking bitch! I slammed the car door and stormed away for a second. We both took a big, strange, heavy breath and bitterly agreed to try to relax and be civil for the next 12 hours and 45 minutes. So we drove, and drove, and drove. Erin got a speeding ticket in Virginia, and in a culminated moment of anxiety and frustration, she cried. I think we started to get along better after that. But you see, we're having fun, and we're telling all kinds of embarrassing stories about our sex lives and making up raps about girls we thought were cute. By the New Jersey Turnpike, we were getting bored. By New York, we were really cranky and tired. By Connecticut, we were ready for this dumb jive to be over with. Despite a few random traffic jams and how shaky we were from lack of sleep, we finally hit Massachusetts sometime after midnight. Full of exhaustion and anticipation, we stumbled in, feeling around for light switches. The place looked really bad. I mean, it was really dirty. The housemates that had moved out hadn't cleaned up at all. They had left this huge fucking mess. I almost cried. After that whole long painful journey, I had arrived full of optimism to my new home that was in actuality a well-disguised shithole. Erin tried to calm me down by saying that it didn't look that bad, but we both knew she was just saying that. Before, when I'd come by to check out the house, it had looked different. The kids that had lived there before me had moved into an old rotting house and dressed it up with cool used furniture, art, and attractive kitsch. I had thought it was a really cool place. Now that it was mostly empty except for the dirt and trash that they had left, I knew what it was. Just an old, dirty, rotting house. Not having the mental capacities to fully deal with this fact and reaching a breaking point, I resigned to go to sleep. Right before I went home to North Carolina, I moved most of my things, including a borrowed futon, into the weird, creepy basement of the new house. It took hours. I bribed one of my friends from school to help me out. The two of us dropped the futon mattress off the third floor balcony into the parking lot where we had a borrowed SUV parked. Once at the new house, after midnight, we struggled to wrestle the dense, heavy mattress down the narrow wooden staircase of the pitch-black, decrepit basement. To get to sleep the night of our arrival at the new house, I knew Erin and I had to pull the mattress back up the narrow staircase. My new room was totally empty except for dust and trash on the floor. No one else was home except for Andy, my new housemate that I'd never met. He was asleep and we were scared to wake him. So Erin and I ventured down the narrow stairs of the narrow staircase into the dark, scary, gross dirt floor basement. I found a string dangling from a naked light bulb hanging from the ceiling and yanked it. In the dim, shadowy light, I could see my futon mattress seated on the floor with rodent excrement stains on it. Oh, fuck, I sighed. Biting my lip, hands on hips, looking at the ceiling, I took some more deep breaths. Okay, I said, and we began to move it. Erin is a little smaller than me, and the two of us winced under the weight of the mattress. We tried to compress the size of it as much as we could to clear the banister, and started up the stairs. It was stuck. We were sweating, heaving, pulling, pushing, cursing, grunting. It wouldn't budge. It was stuck between the wall, the banister, and the low ceiling. For a moment we considered sleeping on the shit-stained futon down in the scary basement, but we couldn't go through with it. It would have been way too traumatic. Finally, dirty and defeated from our wrestling match with the stairway and the futon, we accepted the fact that we had to sleep on the grimy, bare bedroom floor. More arguing ensued. I had brought a fairly nice new down comforter with me in Erin's car. She thought we should lay it out on the floor and sleep on it. In my disgust of the house at this point, my anal retentiveness started to arise. I refused. No way, there's no way I'm gonna put my new comforter on this nasty floor. I'm gonna go sleep on a towel. Are you serious? Fuck, I'm not gonna sleep on a fucking towel. Whatever. Blah, 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 blah. Etc., etc. Finally, we trailed off into an annoyed, uncomfortable state of semi-sleep, filled with anxiety dreams about this weird place we just moved into. The next morning, we woke in a flash of bright light and confusion. Once we got our bearings, we decided to take a quick run to the grocery store, as we had nothing for breakfast. We went to Stop and Shop. I bought 4 things. Lysol for the futon. Febreze, also for the futon. Count Chocula, and soy milk. On our way home, we got in yet another fight. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, it wasn't about anything important, just whether or not to use air conditioning on the drive home. Only this time it ended differently.
Fuck you, Tess. I don't want to fucking see you anymore. At all.
I think I said something similar. She dropped me off at the house. I walked inside, pissed off, sad and scared. I walked into the kitchen. The sink was filled with dirty dishes. I found the bottom of a Tupperware thing that didn't look too dirty and a spoon and washed them with some gross blue thing that looked like a rotting sponge. Aware of every sound I was making in this gross, silent house, I cautiously tore open the box of Count Chocula. I poured some in the Tupperware thing and poured some milk on top. I chewed slowly, eyeing my surroundings. Everything seemed really screwed up. Just then the phone rang and broke my trance. Although it felt awkward, I answered it after a ring or two, thinking, yeah, I guess I do live here. It was my mom. She sounded chipper. I could hear NPR in the background. She seemed worlds away.
Hey, how's everything going? How was the drive? How's Aaron?
I cleared my throat. Everything's fine, Mom. Everything's okay.